Hello everyone, welcome to the courtroom of divine justice. You have spent years, perhaps decades, watching a predator walk through life seemingly untouched by the havoc they wreaked. You watched them destroy reputations, shatter families, and drain the life force out of innocent people, all while wearing a smile of smug superiority. You screamed into the void, asking why the universe allowed such cruelty to prosper. You wondered if there was any justice in this world, or if the wicked truly do win. But I am here to tell you that the movie isn't over yet. You walked out during the second act, when the villain was still on the throne. But the third act is playing right now, behind closed doors, and it is a horror story of biblical proportions. We are going to witness the inevitable, terrifying unraveling of the narcissist at the end of their life. This is not about revenge, this is about the laws of cause and effect. This is about the great equalizer that no amount of money, charm, or gaslighting can bribe. For the narcissist, aging and death are not natural transitions, they are an existential crisis that strips them of every defense mechanism they spent a lifetime building. The punishment they face is not a fire waiting in the afterlife, it is a hell they constructed brick by brick, lie by lie, victim by victim, right here on earth. The haunting question that keeps you up at night is, did they get away with it? You see them posting photos, you hear rumors of their continued arrogance, and it feels like a slap in the face. But you are looking at a facade. You are looking at a painted backdrop in a theater that is burning down. The narcissist's end-of-life experience is a specific, curated form of torture designed by their own pathology. It is a punishment of profound isolation, terror, and a confrontation with the one thing they spent their entire life running from, their own hollowness. You must understand that God, or the universe, does not need to send a lightning bolt to punish a narcissist. The punishment is baked into the disorder itself. The narcissist spent their life severing human connections, treating people like disposable objects. They sowed seeds of discord, betrayal, and cruelty. Now, in the winter of their life, the harvest has arrived. And the harvest is a field of ash. They are surrounded by the ghosts of the relationships they murdered, and there is no one left to blame but the stranger in the mirror. We are going to pull back the curtain on the King Lear tragedy that befalls every narcissist who lives long enough. We will see how the God complex crumbles when the body fails. We will see how the master manipulator is reduced to a helpless dependent. This is the moment where the power dynamic shifts permanently. The person who used to control you with a look is now terrified of being left alone in a room for 5 minutes. The predator has become the prey of time. This video is going to validate every tear you ever shed. It is going to confirm that while you were doing the hard work of healing and building a soul, they were hollowing theirs out. And now, as they approach the final curtain, they realize they are empty. They have no memories of love, only memories of conquest. They have no legacy of warmth, only a legacy of fear. And fear is a cold companion when the lights go out. You might think they are immune to suffering because they lack empathy. You are wrong. They are not immune to their own suffering. In fact, they are hypersensitive to it. The pain of irrelevance, the pain of being ignored, the pain of losing control, this is agony to a narcissist. It is a slow, grinding spiritual death that precedes their physical death. They are trapped in a collapsing ego, screaming for supply that no longer exists. We are going to explore the concept of the final discard. This time, they are not the ones doing the discarding. Life is discarding them. Health is discarding them. Society is discarding them. They are being forced to experience the very rejection they inflicted on you, but magnified 1,000 times by their own frailty. It is a poetic justice so precise it feels engineered by a higher power. Do not let their social media fool you. Do not let the few remaining flying monkeys fool you. The narcissist at the end of their life is a creature of immense panic. They know, on a primal level, that they have wasted their time on Earth. They know they played a game they couldn't win. And now, as the clock runs out, they are desperate to rewrite the ending, but the pen has run out of ink. Prepare yourself. We are walking into the hospice of the soulless. We are going to look at what happens when a person who played God finally has to meet him. By the end of this video, you will no longer feel anger, you will feel a chilling realization that you escaped a sinking ship just in time. Let's witness the reckoning. To understand the severity of this punishment, you must understand the narcissist's relationship with the false self. They spent their entire life constructing a godlike avatar to hide their shame. This avatar required constant fuel, money, looks, status, and the adoration of others. But old age is the enemy of the false self. Wrinkles cannot be gaslit. Illness cannot be manipulated. Death cannot be charmed. As the physical vessel decays, the false self cracks, exposing the terrified, undeveloped child underneath. This exposure is their worst nightmare realized. They suffer from the loss of supply. In their prime, they could easily replace victims. If you left, they found another. But in the final chapter, the supply lines are cut. They are often retired, loss of status, divorced or widowed, loss of partner, and estranged from children, loss of family. They are starving. The hunger for validation becomes a physical pain. They are like vampires with no teeth, surrounded by blood they cannot drink. We must discuss the void. Throughout their life, they used noise, drama, and chaos to distract themselves from the emptiness inside. Now, in the quiet of a nursing home or an empty house, the distractions are gone. They are forced to stare into the abyss. And the abyss stares back. They are confronted with the terrifying reality that they have no inner life, no spiritual depth, and no genuine connection to humanity. They are alone in a universe they tried to conquer. Paranoid ideation consumes them. Because they projected their own malice onto others for decades, they assume everyone is out to get them now. They believe the nurses are stealing from them. They believe their children are waiting for them to die. They believe the world is mocking them. This paranoia creates a living hell where they are always under siege, unable to trust the very people they rely on for survival. They experience retrospective regret, but not the healthy kind. They don't regret hurting you, they regret losing control of you. They regret the strategic errors that led to their isolation. They replay their life not as a journey of love, but as a series of failed business transactions. I should have trapped him better. I should have hidden the money better. Their mind is a broken record of calculation and bitterness. The fear of death is uniquely horrifying for a narcissist. For a normal person, death is a transition or a rest. For a narcissist, death is the ultimate narcissistic injury. It is the definitive proof that they are not special, that they are mortal, that they are just like everyone else. The ego cannot comprehend its own non-existence. This cognitive dissonance creates a state of terror that prevents them from finding any peace in their final days. They become the victim on a cosmic scale. They rage against God. Why me? I am special. I don't deserve this pain. They cannot accept suffering as a part of life. They view their illness or loneliness as a personal insult from the Almighty. They die as they lived, blaming everyone else for their predicament, refusing to take responsibility for the bridges they burned. Envy turns into poison. They look at young people, healthy people, or happy families, and they are filled with a corrosive hatred. They hate the living for being alive. They hate the happy for being happy. Since they can no longer participate in life, they want to destroy it. They become the bitter elder who curses the world, spiting the very people who try to care for them. They lose the ability to compartmentalize. In the past, they could keep their lies separate. Now, as cognitive decline sets in, the compartments dissolve. The lies bleed together. The masks slip. They might accidentally confess to things, or mix up their victims. The elaborate structure of deceit they built collapses under its own weight, leaving them confused and exposed in the rubble. Ultimately, they face spiritual bankruptcy. They realize that all the things they chased, money, beauty, power, are useless currency in the face of death. They have no spiritual savings account. They have no warmth to draw upon. They are spiritually cold, shivering in the draft of their own selfishness. This is the poverty of the soul, and it is the most painful poverty of all. The turning point arrives when the audience leaves. The narcissist has always performed for an audience. But inevitably, the audience gets tired. The turning point is that specific day when the phone stops ringing. The children stop visiting. The friends have all died or moved on. The narcissist sits in their chair and realizes the theater is empty. There is no one left to clap, and no one left to boo. There is just silence. This silence triggers the extinction burst of rage. They might lash out at caregivers, call estranged relatives to scream at them, or feign medical emergencies to force attention. But this time, it doesn't work. The people around them are paid professionals who are immune to the drama, or family members who have gone no contact. The narcissist screams, but no sound comes out. They are a ghost before they are dead. Then comes the humiliation of dependency. The person who demanded to be served is now forced to be fed, washed, and changed. For a narcissist who prides themselves on superiority, this is torture. Every time they need help, it is a reminder of their weakness. They hate the caregiver for seeing them naked and vulnerable. They hate their own body for betraying them. They are trapped in a vessel that mocks their grandiosity. The great amnesia of their victims. The narcissist expects their victims to be pining for them or angry at them. But the dramatic twist is that their victims have moved on. They check the social media of the people they destroyed, expecting to see ruin. Instead, they see you happy. They see you healed. They see you living a life where they don't exist. This indifference is the ultimate punishment. It proves they were irrelevant. They attempt to bargain with God. In a panic, they might feign religious conversion. They might summon a priest or become suddenly pious. But this is just another manipulation. They are trying to gaslight God. They are trying to negotiate a VIP pass to heaven. But deep down, they know it's a performance. They feel the hollowness of their own prayers because they are praying to a mirror, not a deity. The legacy of hatred becomes undeniable. They look at their visitor's log. It is empty. They look at their bedside table. No cards. They realize that they are not loved, they are endured. The people waiting for them to die are not mourning, they are waiting for the inheritance or the release. The narcissist sees the relief in people's eyes, and it cuts them deeper than any knife. They act out in malignant sabotage. If they are going down, they want to take everyone with them. They might change their will to hurt their children. They might say cruel, unforgivable things on their deathbed to leave lasting trauma. This is their final act of control. You will remember me, even if it is with hate. But even this fails, as people simply pity the venom of a dying snake. The face of the monster is revealed. As the facial muscles relax and the charm evaporates, the narcissist's face often settles into a permanent scowl or a look of sneering contempt. The mask is physically gone. The ugliness of their spirit is etched into their features. They look like the villain they always were. They can no longer hide who they are. They experience temporal distortion. They get stuck in the past, reliving their glory days, talking to people who aren't there. They retreat into a fantasy world where they are still the king or queen. But reality keeps intruding in the form of pain, machines, and the smell of the hospital. They are ripped back and forth between delusion and a harsh, cold reality. The turning point ends with the resignation. They realize they cannot manipulate death. They cannot charm the reaper. The final discard is coming, and for the first time in their life, they are the one being discarded. The powerlessness is total. The collapse is not dignified. It is often messy, loud, and pathetic. The narcissist becomes the difficult patient that nurses warn each other about. They press the call button incessantly. They complain about the food, the sheets, the light. They are desperately trying to assert control over a microscopic environment because they have lost control over the macroscopic world. They suffer from skin hunger, but repel touch. They crave the warmth of human contact, but their personality is so prickly that no one wants to touch them. They are untouched, unhugged, unheld. They die in a vacuum of physical affection. The body they used to seduce is now a repulsive cage of loneliness. The financial ruin often accompanies the end. Many narcissists are impulsive and bad with money. They may end up in state-run facilities, stripped of the luxury they felt entitled to. They are forced to live among the commoners they despised. The equality of the nursing home is an insult to their ego. They die in a beige room, wearing a generic gown, stripped of all status symbols. They are haunted by intrusive memories. Not happy memories, but moments of injury. the time someone laughed at them, the time they were rejected. The brain, lacking dopamine, replays their failures on a loop. They are trapped in a cinema watching their worst moments, unable to walk out of the theater. The family feud acts as their funeral march. Often, the family is fighting over money or control before the narcissist is even dead. The narcissist created this dynamic of triangulation and conflict. Now, they have to die to the sound of their children arguing. It is the symphony of dysfunction they composed, playing them out. They die in a state of narcissistic rage. Some narcissists do not go gentle. They die cursing, screaming, or glaring. They fight the inevitable with a feral intensity. There is no peace, no acceptance, no crossing over. There is only a violent struggle against the dying of the light. It is a terrifying sight for anyone witnessing it. The final words are often hollow or cruel. They don't offer wisdom. They don't offer love. They might ask for water, or complain about the temperature, or issue a final command. They waste their last breath on the trivial because they have no access to the profound. They die as they lived, superficial and demanding. Their aftermath is silence. When they pass, the room doesn't feel empty, it feels lighter. The heavy, oppressive energy of their presence lifts. The survivors feel a wave of relief, followed by guilt for feeling relieved. But the relief is the truth. The dark star has collapsed, and the gravity is gone. The funeral is a charade. People come out of obligation, not grief. The eulogies are vague. He did it his way. She was a force of nature. No one talks about warmth, kindness, or sacrifice. It is a gathering of victims, not mourners. The narcissist is buried in a box of politeness, unmissed by the hearts of those present. The ultimate consequence is oblivion. They feared being ordinary. Now they are dust. They left no positive mark on the world. Their name becomes a curse word in the family history, or is simply never spoken again. They are erased. So, what is the final truth you must hold on to as you witness this cosmic balancing of the scales? It is this: you do not need to seek revenge. Revenge is a low vibrational game that keeps you tied to them. You simply need to wait. The universe has a mechanism for correcting imbalances, and the narcissist's life path leads inevitably to this destination of ruin. You must understand that their punishment is their own company. Imagine being trapped in a room forever with a narcissist. That is what they are experiencing. They are trapped inside their own mind, with no supply to distract them from their own toxicity. They are marinating in the poison they tried to feed you. God's punishment is not cruelty, it is clarity. In the end, all illusions are stripped away. The narcissist is forced to see themselves clearly, perhaps for the first time. They see the small, frightened, broken thing they truly are. And they have to die with that vision burning in their mind's eye. You, the survivor, have a different ending. Because you chose to feel the pain, to do the work, to love others, you get to die with a heart full of memories. You get to be held. You get to leave a legacy of kindness. Your death will be a sunset, theirs is a power outage. Do not pity them to the point of re-engaging. Their suffering is the consequence of their choices. You cannot save someone who spent a lifetime refusing to be saved. You cannot warm a person who chose to be ice. Let them freeze. It is the season they chose. Walk away from their grave, physically or metaphorically, and shake the dust off your sandals. You are free. The monster has been devoured by its own hunger. The story of their control over you is officially over. Look at the sky. Look at the horizon. The world is wide and full of people who are capable of love. The narcissist tried to convince you that the world was dark and scary like them. They lied. The world is beautiful. It was only their world that was hell. You have survived the storm. Now, enjoy the calm. You have earned every moment of peace, every moment of joy, every moment of real, authentic connection. Do not waste one more second looking back at the ruins. Justice has been served. Not by your hand, but by the hand of truth. The lie has collapsed. The truth remains. They are gone. You are here. You won.